We are live, JP's use like on your own little go slow here.
I'm waiting for it to pop up and say live. It's already 10 seconds in. All right. So what's going on, folks? Welcome to tonight's special Christmas episode of the Run and Gun podcast, even though it doesn't look anything like Christmas or anything, but that's all right. We are grateful and blessed to be joined by Florida A&M linebacker Nadarius Fagan. So what's going on, Nadarius?
What's going on, man?
It's going good. It's going good, man. You know, we had a good talk before we even came on here and everything, so that was awesome. A lot of insight, a lot of good stuff, good vibes and everything. So, and then Ace right there too. Ace, what's going on, Ace?
Nothing much. I'm just here to go ask Nadarius the tough, hard questions. Nah, I'm just messing. It's just here to. We're gonna have some fun with you guys tonight.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, as you know, folks, tonight we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. We got some questions for Nadarius and everything for the first quarter of the show, and then as per usual, we're gonna recap the Celebration Bowl and what happened. Who got stiff armed into the transfer portal? I think we all saw that. What FAMU's got coming back. We're gonna recap the 2022 season with Nadarius and what's to come for him as he prepares for the NFL. We're also gonna talk about the NFL playoff picture and college football playoff, all that stuff. So as you know, of course, be sure to leave a comment. If you are willing to leave a comment, head over to YouTube. If you have questions for Nadarius like we do, and if you want to add something that we maybe missed upon for him, feel free to comment. So as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Nadarius, you
Be
got
a
anything?
friend, tell a friend.
Yes. Nadarius, you got anything before we get started?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the questions.
All right, guys, we're gonna roll the intro next. Don't go anywhere. Get comfortable. I know it's the Christmas season. If you made milk and cookies, go ahead and get comfortable on the couch around the Christmas tree. Watch Home Alone 2. Do all that good stuff. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
And you are listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
So, we could just to keep it right here and stuff before we switch on over. So, yeah, first question I got for Nadarius is as follows. And yes, America, if y'all got questions for him as well, be sure y'all slide over to YouTube to leave a comment because the comments are not working on Twitter, unfortunately.
It's not supported anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
Not our fault. Just for some reason, StreamYard doesn't support it. So if you're on Twitter, click the profile picture, the link in the bio, head over to the channel. Or if anything, if you're on Twitter, just type in Nadarius Fagan on YouTube. It will be showing up in videos first.
Oh, nice. Awesome. I'm glad you know this and I don't. So let me go ahead and go right into it. So
stats. So I hadn't found it.
Oh. So yeah, let me go ahead and go right into it. So Nadarius, my first question I have to ask is I asked Savion this at the end of last season. For you, what was the biggest difference between like coming from the ACC and transitioning into like the MEAC/SWAC?
So the biggest difference, I would probably say the support and the people around you. At those schools, you're viewed as mostly an athlete, and being at HBCU or MEAC or SWAC school, I've experienced a lot of different things, and the most important thing I could pull away is that people actually view you as a person and really understand that you have off the field issues and you deal with stuff off the field. And you're bigger than the athlete. You are a person. That's how people treat you. So that is something I can say is definitely a difference.
Nice. Ace.
Yeah, so I was gonna say instead of more the transition from the ACC to the SWAC, I was gonna say, what do you think in terms of how the coaching, in terms of like treating yourself as a person, also as a player, in the SWAC with Willie Simmons? Like, how would you consider that difference in between the SWAC with Willie Simmons compared to the Syracuse and the ACC?
Willie Simmons is, like I say, every coach isn't the same. Willie Simmons is a great coach. He interacts with his players a lot. Coaching wise, I've learned a lot of football at FAM. Thank you to Coach Ryan Smith. He's broken down football to a level that opened my eyes and made me see a lot of different things. So I feel like maybe the coaching here is a lot like in depth and hands on at these levels.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. So, man, that got me thinking now. Dang. Uh, hmm. I'm gonna ask this one right here. So stepping onto this team for you, who would you say is who? No, this is more of a practice question. Who gets the better of who in practice? Because you got the rack boys over there on offense talking trash, and the running backs, they call themselves toe gang and everything, and then it's the Dark Clouds defense on the other side. Like who during these last 2 years in the SWAC was getting the better of each other?
In practice,
Yeah.
we all know the Dark Cloud defense. We do our thing. The rack boys, they had their little moments in practice where they shine. Then you got Zay Smith, K-Dot, Manigo, Jermaine. You got all those guys, so you can't, they always gonna shine.
Right.
So, the Dark Cloud defense always gonna smother, and we gonna swarm to the ball. And, so I'd say the Dark Cloud defense definitely won practice a lot.
I was asking that because I like to hear. I was asking that because like after they had signed a transfer out of Minnesota, who's a Tallahassee product, they were talking about, we finna go crazy again on defense and stuff in practice, and we can't wait to get them in there and everything. And then I think the true freshman Kareem Burke was saying like, it's not gonna really matter because offense gonna still go crazy on them and stuff. So I love the competitive nature.
Offense, like I said, offense has had their shine, in practice. They had their plays where they did their thing. But, Dark Cloud defense definitely, where's the crown?
I like that. We're going to have to clip that part up. We're going to have to clip that and post that.
All right. I'm going to go to a semi-different spot where it's like, what made you go to transfer from Syracuse to FAMU, and why FAMU?
It was a lot of things going on back home. I was dealing with family issues, so I wanted to kind of get closer to home. And as we all know, in the transfer portal, back when I transferred, that made me sound old. I ain't that old, but when I transferred, the transfer portal had just became a thing, and they were trying to decide rules and how things were going to go. And in order for me to play, I had to go down a level or sit out a year, transfer to another D1 institution. I decided to come to FAM because of Coach Roll, Coach Billy Roll. So I played for him in high school. He's a great coach and a great guy to be around. And, he gave me a call one day, and he was like, man, what you think about FAMU? I said, man, I just want to play football and get closer to home. And, I wanted to get a different experience going to HBCU. So that's kind of something that I put into my mind, like, okay, let's do it. Like Coach Rose there, it's an HBCU. And, you can start something. You can start something different. And I was there before the big come to HBCUs and things like that had played into effect. So I feel like that's something that drove me to do it.
I will
All
say,
right, JP, I'm gonna add on. I'm gonna add on to that question there. It's like, so what did you major in at FAMU? Because I know you said before we came on you're gonna graduate this year. So what did you major in when you came to FAMU, and what you're graduating in?
I had graduated with a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in education.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I chose that because I chose as a minor in education because I just like being around kids and seeing kids smile. And changing the youth is a big part in this society. And growing them while they're young and being able to talk to them and guide them to do the right things while they're young is definitely something I look forward to doing.
Would you ever go into like high school coaching down the line? Like you can be a teacher and a coach, if anything.
I haven't really thought about coaching at the moment because like I said, I'm a current player in football, so coaching hasn't really dawned on me yet. But I definitely think like later on down the line, years to come, I'm probably gonna get into coaching.
I can dig it. I can see it. I can see. I like that. I like that. So for me, my next question is this. So just to recap that 2022 season. So as everybody knew about what had happened to start the year off. Y'all were headed to the airport to go play UNC. You're headed up to Chapel Hill to go play the Tar Heels, and then all of a sudden y'all can't board because certain players were ruled ineligible. And then y'all still went in there. Y'all fought y'all butts off. Y'all competed at a very high level with the eventual ACC Coastal Division champs. And then y'all go to Miami, and then what happens there? What happened is what happens, and then y'all rip off 9 straight to go 9-2. So just recap all of that, if you can.
So, as a senior on the team, it was kind of hard saying that people had went through the things that they had went through being at the university. So we kind of decided as a team that when we decided to go play, and we was gonna give it our all going into North Carolina. Jackson State is Jackson State. I don't really have too much to say about that game. Enough was said. But after that game was an eye opener. Like okay, we played good in North Carolina. We went into Miami. It wasn't a really good result. So let's not have that feeling in our mouth again, and continue to go out with the rest of the season. We're not gonna like, no matter the situation, we're not gonna lay down. We're not gonna give in. Like, we're gonna fight to the finish. And that's kind of that's what we did the rest of the season, the rest of the way. I would want to say it's season, maybe around that time. We kind of like, we bonded even closer as a team midway because we seeing like, okay, like we winning, we got to do more. And then towards the end, we tried to get a shot at the playoffs, but to each his own. And I feel like I told people, like, I feel like we definitely deserve a chance, but stuff like that, you can't control that. You only can control what you can control, and that's what we did. We won out the rest of the season and did everything we need to do on our end. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say I felt that y'all were more deserving to go over, a team like Montana, who I thought shouldn't have even been in there because they got beat 55-21 by Montana State. They didn't deserve to be in there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
We had a nice long discussion about that back in November.
Oh yeah, we did.
Like the season finale, I think.
Yeah, right before the Florida Classic. Yep, we did. We should. Yeah, because look, Nadarius, like in our opinions, we felt we were like this team did deserve a home game against, say, Mercer, or who else was that they got in? It wasn't Austin P. I think it was Gardner Webb, who was 6-5, or even Fordham, or somebody. Because I felt like y'all could have won. Because in my opinion, I was like, there's a 7-win team out there that is not better than this 9-win football team. And I said
9-1 football team that's only losses were against a ranked FBS school in UNC with the Heisman candidate and the SWAC champs. But in both games were played undermanned, but that's another conversation. But a question I have for Nadarius was, I've only ever had one pick wrong for FAMU in the games. But what was the spark after the Jackson State game? You were kind of mentioning it, but I want to know, like, what was the spark in the team that set off that 9-game win streak this season?
So when we got back to practice on Sunday, Coach had spoke to the team, and it was kind of quiet. Like nobody really talked. It wasn't really things said. But what stood out most was that we, as a team, without nobody even speaking, as a team, we knew what we had to do and how hard we had to work to dig ourselves out of a hole. And like I say, everybody looked like, when you look at somebody or when we walked in the weight room with each other, we knew like what time it was. That was something that I say played a big role in the spark with the team, is that we knew what type of team we had and the chemistry we could make going into the rest of the season, and knowing that we didn't want that taste in our mouth no more, like that losing feeling. And that's something that I say definitely like played a tremendous part in us going on that 9-game winning streak.
Wish more teams could be like that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was like. That's why I love. That's what I loved about the teams for these past 2 seasons. They faced adversity. They were able to come together, and I feel like this team this year, which I thought was better than last year's team, was able to come together even more. Because, dude, the possibilities were endless for this team, I thought, and it still is endless. Because I think, as much as it hurts me to say, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear me say it, I think getting left out might have been a blessing in disguise, because when I listened to Willie Simmons' show, the one thing he said was nobody hung their heads after finding out y'all didn't get in or anything like that. As a collective whole, y'all went straight to the weight room.
So one thing I could add to while we on Willie Simmons, he prepares his players for adversity. So he prepares his teams for whatever it is that is to come, whether it's a loss, whether it's a fourth quarter, you got to dig deep in the fourth quarter, or whether you in a weight room, and like he prepares you for adversity. And that's one thing I could say he pounds on, is like when adversity hits you, that he shows you and he teaches you that you have to get up and fight, whether it's football or life. And that is one thing that me playing for him for the past 3 seasons, that I could say like he's really drilled into his players and molded them into, men and better football players, is that when you face adversity, you continue to fight no matter what.
I like that. Ace, anything?
All right. Well, I don't know how long we're going in this segment, but I want to know. JP asked this question earlier, and I want to know, for Christmas time, since it's Christmas time, which Home Alone movie you prefer? Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2?
That's a hard
This is just
question.
a lighten up a mood one.
That's a hard one. I'm probably gonna take Home Alone 2. Lost in New York.
That's right behind me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Guys,
Home
actually,
Alone 2.
I feel I could get with that. Honestly, like for me, for a little while, it was Home Alone 1, but then I started watching Home Alone 2 a little bit more, and I was like, I gotta go with that one.
Yeah, I love Home Alone 2.
I asked that question. I didn't even realize he had Home Alone 2 playing in the background.
And hey, look, dude, there's always a little Easter egg on here you gotta look for. Here's my last question before we move on to the HBC aspect of the show. Best dressed coach on the team.
Ooh.
What was your question?
The best dressed coach on the team.
Oh, the coach with the most swag.
Yeah.
None of them ain't got no swag, but the one with the most swag that can get close to it.
Oh snap!
I'm gonna take Coach O, Coach Orlando.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Coach O, because that's probably as close as you're gonna get to having some swag. He got something in him, and he could be clean sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Now, you can be clean more often, but you know.
Okay, I got you.
Okay,
Now-
so I'm gonna add like a little thing. So when you say the guys who don't have swag, what kind of outfits they come to game day with?
They come in with like, how can I put this? To me, they dress more like Andy. You ever seen Andy Reid? They dress like Andy
Yes.
Reid, built like that. That's not really, that's the best I can give
Okay,
you.
Andy Reid during the game or Andy Reid with the Hawaiian T-shirts? Andy Reid.
Andy
Just
Reid,
for the people to be clear.
okay, this is Andy Reid during the game, but they're before their pregame dress codes. Man, they got some things. I'm gonna say Simmons probably represents like a pretty good coach, but he could, he got the kick game on lock. He got a lot of kicks. Yeah, he got the kick game on lock, but the attire could be a little better, sometimes.
That's a good spot right there.
That was. Oh snap! Oh my gosh! All right. So now we're in the HBCU portion of the show. So the Darius, as you know, as you're graduating senior, you hear and you see about the new commitments and everything with the early signing period. So, FAMU made some good moves actually today alone.
Mm-hmm.
3 key guys committed. I believe his name's Sharif Saeed, the transfer from Southeast Louisiana, and then they also picked up Tyrese Gibson Battles, who's also another transfer coming in from Garden City Community College, and there was a third one. I can't find it right now. But yeah, a couple of key moves defensively that were much needed. So, as Nadarius Fagan hinted at, America, Dark Cloud's defense is going to be pretty good. Again, very good.
So to add on that, I feel like when they come in, like this program has done a very good job on accepting players and bringing them in, and they're binding into the program. So I feel like the guys that are returning from the previous 2 teams, they're gonna bring those guys in and bring them in the FAMU way, which is play fast, play hard, play physical. And that's why I feel like it's a continuous like strand of Dark Cloud defense and doing pretty good, doing good as far as their like play wise and shutting some opponents out. And I just feel like, the guys that have molded themselves into the program and did a lot for the program this year and the previous year have definitely has my eye on bringing those guys in and making them feel welcome to the program.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, where's I at? Okay, here we go. So I think we can all kind of agree that we all saw the Celebration Bowl, correct?
Yeah.
This is what I'm waiting to talk about. Let's talk some smack. Not smack, but more like we knew what was coming once you found that half the team already had the half a foot out the door. You kind of knew what the outcome was going to probably be.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way how it ended, you're like, I don't want to say it was kind of deserving of how it would end, but you're like, we kind of knew NC State was going to, that Jackson State wasn't going to win a Celebration Bowl with Dion. Let's just leave it at that.
I went into the game. I honestly assumed that Jackson State would have won. I didn't think they were going to blow them out, but I expected them to win. Being that they went last year and they came in with a huge chip on their shoulder, trying to complete an undefeated season, and being that they were there last year and they didn't come up with the victory, so returning, I assumed that they would go in and accomplish the goals that they needed to. But we all seen the results. Definitely a shocker. For me, it was a shocker watching that game.
Honestly, I will say I thought North Carolina Central would have won, but it's the way how they won is what got me. Because
Jackson State dropping an open touchdown in overtime.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel for that kid. I feel for
Yeah.
that kid. It's not easy on him. Apparently, he's been getting death threats and stuff, and like
I hate when that happens. Like,
To comment on that, I just feel like people have to understand that athletes are human. You know, we make mistakes, things happen. You know, it was a costly mistake on his behalf, you know, being that he prepared very well for that moment, being that, you know, he's been coached up for situations like that. I just feel like people have to understand that we are humans. You know, outside of football, you know, we deal with things, we deal with life. So bashing people and you know, kicking people when they're down is something that a lot of athletes deal with. And I just feel like, you know, like in those situations, you know, there are going to be people to bash him, but the closest people around him, I don't know this. I don't know the player personally, but I would like to say, like, the people around him, I hope they're picking him up, encouraging him to do better, you know, and go work on his craft and prepare for next season and forget about what happened. Because in this game, you got to have amnesia because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get a lot of reps, so every rep is not going to be perfect. I watched the best of the best. I watched film on the best of the best, and not every rep was perfect. So I just feel like in this game, you know, being a football player, people have to see more than just the player and see them as a person.
Exactly, because because my thing was I was like, okay, he dropped it. All right, move on, get the next play. But you have to look at the other aspects of the reason of why Jackson State lost, and people are going to forever point to that moment. But how about we also look at the fact that Jackson State gave up 276 yards on the ground? It's not just him. It was not just him. So it's other factors at play here. Like, and I'm confident he will bounce back, whether he hops in the portal and goes somewhere, whether he comes back. You know, he. So I'm like I said, I'm hoping the best for him. Honestly, I really am. The other thing too, as far as looking ahead to 2023 for FAMU, Nadarius, I already know that you said,
favorites for the SWAC. Just saying. FAMU, favorite for the SWAC.
I was gonna get there, but yeah, no, I remember. I know Nadarius. You said that when those new guys come in, they're gonna be welcomed in that FAMU way. And honestly, I will say the momentum that Coach Rispris and Willie Simmons and this whole entire staff has had already going into the early signing period, I got to ask it here. If it pops up, there we go.
I feel like FAMU will improve a lot. You know, being like I said, they have a lot of guys returning on both sides of the ball. And you know what that means when you got guys that have experienced the program, playing under the same coach, going into a new season with the same coaching staff. I feel like, those guys that are transferring in, like I said, are going to have a role. And the guys that have been in the program before they're going to help those guys play those roles. So they're going to help them improve and become players that they're meant to be within the program. And that's why I feel, like I said, that's why I feel earlier that this program has done these past few seasons that I've been here. They've definitely, when I came in, the guys brought me in and, I was molded into the player I am today because of the guys that took me in, and I understood the program and I understood the culture. And we've established that culture here at FAMU, and it will continue to go on until eternity.
I hear you. And then also too, we got a couple head coaching vacancies still out there. So Bethune-Cookman still yet to hire someone. Pine Bluff, Valley, North Carolina A&T party ways with Sam Washington. Oh yeah, so you were there during the. I think you already know where I'm about to go.
Yeah, the NCAT game.
Yeah, if you can, we got a comment. Hold on, wait a minute. FAMU is becoming the JSU in recruiting. Nadarius, you got anything to say to that?
I I don't like to compete in that way. You know, we doing what we do best. You know, number one public HBCU, to put that out there.
I hear you. I feel you. But yeah, so back to that 2019 North Carolina A&T game, because Sam Washington, he's a Tampa guy, went to A&T. I wasn't there for like the pregame warm-ups, but I was there for the halftime thing and everything like that. I was wondering, you know, what was going on with the whole madness and stuff. And then it wasn't even y'all. They came with all that frustration. And they weren't even focused on playing the football game. Y'all were. And it spoke to because of who won the game at the end. The last two meetings.
Yeah.
So it was
Good evening.
good evening. What's up?
Good evening.
But yeah, no, because I've been asking everyone about that, because I asked Coach Lemke about it when we had him on and everything, and he said that he was up in the box when it all happened. But yeah, my fault. I didn't mean to harp on that one.
But with that situation, you know, it's football. It's a gridiron sport. So I feel like a lot of tension was raised at the time, and you know, like I said, it's football. So you know, like you tend to compete, and you know, you want to know who's who. And I feel like words were exchanged. You know, things took place, and we all know what took place. But
Yeah.
I feel like things took place because words were probably exchanged, and you know, stuff like that, and egos were pushed out. And that's most of the times what happens in those situations. And when egos are tested, you know, some people feel like it's fire with fire. So, you know, that's why I feel like sparked that situation.
Oh yeah. No, I felt like that, and even like that situation for me, I felt like was they saw y'all as a threat before the MEAC became what it was now, or what it is now. I feel like they saw y'all as a threat, and they knew y'all were coming for that crown, and y'all were getting ready to push them off the throne. And I think that they were trying so desperately to hold on towards the end. And the same situation where Grambling came in for homecoming last year, I think that when y'all came into the conference, I think they realized, like, okay, we're the longest standing. We have the most championships in this conference. This is our conference. And the way I think y'all were dominating them in the trenches and up front, I think that they didn't like that. And so, like, they took it as, you know, okay, they're trying to push us off our pedestal. And quite frankly, y'all did after the last two meetings. So I think that that's where that frustration that you talked about, the whole egos thing, I think that's where that came from.
So, the Grambling, like Coach always tells us that the week of the game is like one of the only schools in HBCU that can compete with us when it comes to championships and things like that. It's Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, things like that boosts egos, and you know, individuals feel as though, you know, they got to take it in their part to, you know, make sure that things go their way. So I feel like that's kind of what happened. What goes on during the week of practice is like, okay, this is like with us and them. I feel like it's like, you know, this is one of the only schools that can compete with you when it comes to championships and stuff like that. So I feel like that's a conversation that sparks a lot of egos and, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got another comment, guys. The Simmons clapback was legendary after the A&T comment. I'm trying to remember, what did he say? What did he say? I'm trying to remember, what did he say? I can't remember what he said.
That was a minute ago.
Yeah, that was. It was 2019. I'm trying to remember what he said.
That was before my time.
Yeah, that too. That's before we were even doing an in-person podcast on here. I can't remember what he said.
I'm trying to figure out what show is that behind you.
Which show is that behind? I don't even know. Honestly, this is Freeform. Freeform's 25 Days of Christmas. That's all I know. But we can go ahead and
That
swing.
means distracted as hell.
It's all good. We can go ahead and swing on over to the NFL with this.
How about them Bucks? I
You
thought
know
the
what?
Saints were bad, but now the Bucks did it worse.
You know what? I wasn't even gonna go there.
I thought the Colts were bad, but nope, the Bucks still did it worse. Actually, no, the Colts blowing that lead is a different form of any lead I've seen blown, because they didn't even turn. Well, Matt Ryan didn't turn the ball over. Let's rephrase that. Brady turned it over 4 times in the second half.
That game was crazy. That was a game.
That was. We flipped the grad transfer commit from A&T, Ashton Grable.
I ain't see that yet. I ain't see that one yet.
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out who is this big time commit that's about to break the internet that Coach Rispers has been talking about.
Like, let's hurry on up to something to talk about in January.
I feel like you know, but I know you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, that's all I can say is Coach Richards does a great job at what he does. As you see, these past couple of days, we've had some commits here at FAMU. So Coach Rispers, Kendall, those group of people does a great job at what they do best in the recruiting game. And
if they had a better team than FAMU, had better coaching was the class. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I remember that now. I remember the better team thing. Dallas losing.
Okay, this one I didn't even expect this one. I did expect this one because I picked Jacksonville to win this game, so I can't even say I was surprised.
I was low key surprised at that win.
I have been so annoyed with Dallas and especially Dak, because Dak has this obsession with throwing to either a tight end or a running back on a check down or to Noah Brown. Game on the line. You know, most quarterbacks, game on the line. Like, you watch Mahomes, you watch Brady, even Burrow now, right? You watch those really good quarterbacks. Who do they go to when the game is on the line?
Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2.
Mm-hmm. Nah, Dak Prescott, game on the line. He's going to Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go.
Say,
Wait, so Nadarius, who are you a fan of in the NFL?
A player or a team?
Let me get both. I want to hear both.
A player, I have 2. So number 1 is Darius Leonard.
Okay.
I'm a fan of him because he comes from the HBCU level and he's definitely did his thing in the NFL. I watch his film breakdowns all the time. I try to, work my game around some of the stuff he does. And as we all know, I'm a fan favorite of my guy, Marquise Bell.
Oh yeah, because y'all used to be roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dallas doesn't play him, so I can't root for him for that. I can't root for Dallas for that because Dallas doesn't even play him.
He's gotten in before. I seen him make a tackle or 2, but that's my boy. And I was like, it damn near brought tears to my eyes when I seen him, in the game. Being that I was with him here and we put in work together, and he's made it to that level. I was glad to see him actually, show the world what he's capable of.
So now I gotta ask, because I saw Why Not Us. Who's the better cook? Who can cook better breakfast in the house? Who's at the time when y'all were roommates? Who's the better cook?
Me. I do it all. I'm Mr. Do It All. Can
you make snacks?
I can make snacks. I can make breakfast. I can make dinner. I could kind of, I could do my thing in the kitchen.
I feel you. Okay, I'm with that. So Marquise Bell wasn't cooking nothing. He can cook a little something.
Yeah, he all right. He all right.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, as y'all know, of course, Dallas plays Philly this week. in
Yeah, we're
Dallas.
gonna get Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, against
I still
Gardner.
think Gardner Minshew still beats him.
We'll see. But yeah, so who's your
I'm not
favorite?
hating on Dallas. I like the defense and all that, but damn, that gets me mad sometimes.
Who's your favorite NFL team though?
My favorite team? I used to like Tennessee Titans because of Derrick Henry, but I don't really like them no more.
Why could they trade AJ Brown for a bag of chips?
Yeah, I wasn't fond to that. But my favorite team, I gotta go back. I gotta go with the Dolphins. No matter what, win, lose, or draw, I'm a Dolphins fan.
Okay.
I'm a Dolphins fan.
So how you
Top
feel
wide
about
receiver
Tua?
duo in the league, so can't go wrong with that.
How you feel about Tua?
Tua's a good quarterback. But I think that draft, personally, we should have got Justin Herbert. Personally, I feel like he could have been a better fit at Miami. He's doing his thing at the Chargers, but I felt like personally, like Justin Herbert should have been something we grabbed off the board.
Somebody should give Detroit the Godfather option offer to the Lions to take Herbert at 3. That's what I think, but we won't get into that. So upset about that.
But, so now since we already know too, like you're preparing for the NFL draft at the same time too. So I know you said Darius Leonard is a guy that you emulate your game after, but could you also tell us, depending on which if there's any team out there that you could go to, which veteran would you love to be in that linebacker room with and mentor during training? Not mentor, but be an understudy to during training camp.
Geez, that's kind of because it's a lot of them. I would probably say Denzel Perryman. He's been in NFL a while.
He's on the Raiders, right?
Yeah, he plays for the Raiders. Yeah. He's been in the league for a while. Let me slow down. I'll take that back. I'll say Levante David.
Oh, okay.
Levante David. He knows the game very well. He's done it at a high level. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to, he knows what it takes to be a Pro Bowler or have a long stint in the league. So I would want to play behind somebody like that has a lot of experiences, that has done a lot in the NFL. And he's a South Florida, he from down that way. So, we could relate in ways. So, Levante David would definitely be a linebacker I would love to play alongside or be in a room with and learn a lot from.
I like that he said that. See, because now it's
if he just he said Levante.
Because then that way, if he actually ended up in the Bucs training camp, I could go see him when I finish school. I could go see Nadarius in training camp. And then plus, like you said, dude, that linebacker room has experience. That defense it's young, but it's got experience. It needs to wake itself up in certain areas, but it's got experience. Between Devin White, Levante David,
Well, Levante shouldn't be holding on 4th down, but that's a different conversation.
Don't see. Look what you made it. Look. See, here you go. Oh. Here you go. Wow.
What'd I do?
Come on, Levante shouldn't be holding it.
I apologize.
Oh no, you good, man. You good. Honestly, I will say your connection has been better than.
Yeah, you've had so far the best connection we've got from anybody over by FAMU.
Well, that's a plus. I'll take it.
Exactly, dude. I'm telling you, better than Allison Posey's. She works for ABC. She had to go out.
When we had Allison and Savion on, it was dropping every 2 minutes. So to the fact you've been on for the entire show and I'm gonna jinx it probably, but the fact the internet's hold up this good so far is just phenomenal. Oh wait, no. There we go.
I like Denzel Perryman too. Yeah, because he's a Raiders fan. That's
Speaking of the Raiders, what you thought about the ending of that game, Nadarius, this week?
That game
Chucking
was
that 20
wild.
yards back.
Yeah, that game was wild. To be
I've never seen that.
for the Raiders to win that game, it probably was a great feeling.
mm-hmm.
But the opposing, that would have been a hard pill to swallow to lose that game in that fashion. That would have been a hard pill to swallow for me.
I agree. I don't know what it is with this past week of games, but like it just seemed like if you had the lead at the half, it wasn't safe.
But the Raiders were up at the half. It was like 17-3.
But they had to hold on at the end still, and then you had
They got away with a BS touchdown call too. The Raiders.
Yes, they did, and so did the Giants. The Giants got away with that pass interference at the end.
You were on the other side. Well, remember last year the Raiders got lucky. The Chargers were boneheads and called a timeout when they both could have gotten into playoffs.
That's true. That is true.
And then the Raiders ended up getting their butts whacked by the Joe Burrow. But
I had another question regarding, the NFL for you, Nadarius, and I can't think of it right now. I had it in my mind and I lost it. It's going to come back to me though. But in the meantime, we can also ask this question right now before we move on. Are the Bengals peaking at the right time?
the Bengals pass rush is hurt.
Yeah, that's. I don't think so.
Their two best defensive ends are both hurt, so I can't say that yet.
Yeah, I can't.
I think wildcard weekend is when they peak.
That's true. For me, it was just when I was actually there Sunday. I saw with my own eyes Joe really figure it out.
That's why they lost.
Look.
Hey.
You know what?
Y'all made the deal with the devil to beat the Saints because Mark Ingram couldn't stick the ball out 1 yard. But I have moved on. It's
also weird because, I'm not even gonna go into that because then we'll be here and he's gonna have to give a TED talk. I'm not gonna do that. We can just go ahead and
in therapy session with the Saints.
We can go ahead and transition on to college football. So as we all know, there's 4 New Year's 6 bowls that aren't related to the playoff. You got
it's there. I hanged it up. My pride and joy right there. Oh, hold on. We got to move the penalty talk thing.
Wow.
I'll just let Nadarius see. We did the season finale. So this was before the actual playoff rankings came out.
Uh-huh.
And we ran through the different ones where if you had the different scenarios, and this is our winner right here. This was the ended up thing, so I kept it.
It was actually very.
I got every single one because most people thought USC was going to beat Utah, and turned out no, that's not the case.
If you go back and look,
they thought Bambo was going to get in over Ohio State. We're like, no.
If you go back and look at
I have a question. What do you think? What do you think about Nick Saban's comment about the playoffs extension? Like, what do you think? Was it the right time for him to say it? And what do you think about the playoff extension?
I will say
to the fact Bama is going to be the last team to ever not make it as a 5 or 6 seed it's going to be a tough pill for that team to swallow, given the talent on that team. But Saban's won enough where he can say whatever he wants, and you can't judge him for anything he says.
Yeah, and then I think as far as the expansion goes, at first I was not in favor of it, but now that I've had a chance to look at it and kind of glance upon it and everything, I think it would be pretty interesting. I think an expanded playoff field would be pretty interesting. It's because, say for instance, now you have a couple of teams like, say, you got a Florida State, you got a Clemson, you got a couple extra SEC teams now in the mix to where they can all have a chance at knocking off a top seed and everything. It kind of presents itself as if it's March Madness all over again, but football style. And I still hold true to my original thought process on it, where I thought, okay, here's what's going to happen. It's going to expand to 12 teams. The SEC is going to get half the field, and the SEC is going to run through that table, and they're going to have a majority of the teams still sitting there when you get to the Final Four. But I will say, I think now that I've had a chance to kind of dwell on it and think about it, I think it would be good. Ooh, this is a good one. Any chance Colorado can make some noise in a couple of years?
I don't know why anybody in a brain cell will go up to Colorado though just to play for a head coach. Would you? Okay, let me rephrase that. Nadarius, would you go up to Colorado to play for Dion?
Okay, I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If Deion Sanders was recruiting you, and Deion Sanders came into your living room, how could you tell him no? How would you tell? How would you tell? That's like, how would you tell him no if he came inside in your living room and told you he'd like to offer you at Colorado? It's a committable offer. How could you tell Deion no?
Okay, I'm gonna counter that with, okay, if you're Travis Hunter and you got an offer from Kirby Smart and you're from Georgia, do you tell Deion no?
So, to be honest, Travis Hunter is a great player, but I think honestly,
because Ringo gone, Max starting corner spot open.
I couldn't tell Deion no. I couldn't. He told Deion
you would tell Kirby Smart no over Deion.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Say that again, Nadarius.
Being in Travis Hunter's shoes, I'm telling you what I would do. This is what I would do. I wouldn't turn down Deion's offer. Because the conference he's going in, they like to pass the ball. So you have a chance to be, you have a chance to either get 1,000 receiving yards or get a huge amount of interceptions. And you playing for one of the best DBs to ever play football. So you can take a lot from his game. You've already played for him, but it's on a different level. You get what I'm saying? So now you can prove that you are who you are on that level while playing for him still. And it says a lot. And that says a lot.
I'm going to do one last counter. But if you go to Georgia, right, you've had George Pickens come out from Kirby Smart. He's looking really good right now. And then you have Kelsey Ringo, who's going to be a top 5 pick. Yeah, if Travis Hunter goes to the SEC and shows up, he's going to be a top 5 lock. Where if he goes to the Pac-12 and shows out, he may be top 10 because there's going to be the Pac-12 conversations compared to the SEC competition.
I mean, you got Drake London out now that came through and went to Atlanta.
Yeah, Drake London over Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave is looking like a great idea so far. And Jamison Williams.
I just personally.
No. I was like, I have no problem with people going to Colorado. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you had the opportunities, right? Like if you're top recruits and you have opportunities to play for Kirby Smart or Nick Saban or Deion Sanders in Colorado, and you're from the South, do you go up to the cold in Colorado, or do you stay in the warmth of the South? That's just all I'm saying.
So the weather plays a part, but let's be realistic about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talking about Deion. I feel like as a coach, he's shown that he's capable of molding players to be, great players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like he said, no matter where you go, if you ball, and you are who you say you are, and you show that you are who you say you are,
That's true.
you can go wherever you play ball at. And I just feel like playing for Dion and getting that coaching, as far as him being a defensive back, how can you say no?
That's true. And I'll say this too. Now that Nadarius said that, you got to look at the Pac-12 landscape. It's about to get pretty easy after this season because UCLA, who's come up, they're leaving to go to the Big Ten. You have USC, who's come up and re-risen under Lincoln Riley. They're leaving.
Jessica Drew was kicked by Ohio State and Michigan, but yes, continue.
They're going off to the Big Ten as well too. So now you have Washington, who's got Michael Penix, who won't always be there. We don't know what Washington is going to look like year to year. They're going to be tough, but they're not going to be like elite. You got Oregon, who they're going to be a tough outing. They're not going to be elite. And then you got Utah, who they're going to be there, but they're not elite. They're not a playoff worthy team. So
no, they just show up in the Pac-12 championship.
Exactly, they're a Rose Bowl team at best. So that leaves room for Dion in Colorado to really do some damage. So I'm gonna leave it like that.
That's
Good debate, guys.
That's a fair statement.
I think we had a very productive conversation on that point.
I mean, in the NFL, you're gonna be playing in the cold, so why not? Yeah, honestly, that's true too. You're gonna have to take a trip up to Green Bay or what you saw Monday night.
I think it's what -9 degrees or something like that in Cleveland this week with 35-degree wind chill.
Oh, Lord.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. Where
we saw
literally
that.
throwing snowballs in the air after every touchdown. So, I mean, yeah, if I go to Colorado, especially now, because Colorado's about to get really popular like it was back in the 90s. So
I wasn't around the 90s, so I can't tell you how Colorado was in the 90s.
Yeah,
none of us were around in the 90s. Well, maybe Jordan, but
Nadarius, you see how he poked at me?
I'm just throwing the jokes. So don't mess with me, Nadarius. I just throw the jokes out. Don't worry about me.
So next question I got is, for Nadarius, most intriguing New Year's Six bowl matchup that's not a playoff matchup. So you got the Sugar Bowl, you got the Orange Bowl, you got the the unique one is Tulane and USC in the Cotton Bowl, and then Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and then you got the Rose Bowl between Utah and Penn State. So for you, which one's the most interesting?
I say the Utah and Penn State. I say that game because, like you said, both of those programs, they're not playoff worthy teams, but they are pretty decent teams. You know what I mean? And I definitely want to see the outcome of that game. I think it's going to be a pretty tough game. I think it might come down to a nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can understand that. For me, it's Kansas and Alabama, and I'm not just saying that because it's Alabama, but I say it because from what I've gathered with Kansas State, they are a team that they're not going to back down from Alabama. They're not going to come in scared of Alabama. They are, from what I've been told, one of the more physical teams in the Big 12, and they're going to present some challenges. Now, for Alabama, if I'm Alabama, don't come into this game thinking you got it made, thinking they're just going to lay down. This is a team you got to just go in there and beat, because if you don't, Kansas State's going to do to you what they did to TCU.
Upset.
I got to take back something. I just remembered. I can't say people aren't going to go to Colorado because apparently Nebraska's about to get a whole lot of recruits too with Matt Rule there. So the Midwest is about to be very popular very fast.
Of course, I'm telling you. Get ready. Now for the last two before we get out of here. So you got the well, actually no, we didn't ask Ace what his New Year's Six bowl game was.
Me, I'm probably just sticking to the playoff games. But if I had to pick, it's just to see if Kansas shows up to make that next step as a program.
And with that,
Because we were the first video I think we did was the Big 12 with Kansas, and we're making fun of them for going winless.
Kansas State. Or we just talking about Kansas in general?
Oh, Kansas State. Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about for Kansas. You know how we were making fun of them for going winless the very first video that I did, and now all of a sudden they're big time. Not big time, but you know what I mean. Where they actually winning games now and they're making noise in the Big 12. And also, since Kansas State played spoiler, now back to that to TCU in the championship. You're like, what happens? You never know.
I will say I like that. I like that move by Jeff Sims going to Nebraska.
Yeah,
I like that. That's going to be. It could be proved to be pivotal for them. So, a few more things before we just get out of here for tonight. So, first matchup we got to talk about is this one. Ohio State's matchup with Georgia's defense without Ace's favorite wide receiver that he wants to be a Saint, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He wasn't playing anyway, so.
I want to know, how does Ohio State's offense, how they going to come out?
If the game ends with on the spread under 25, I'd say that's a win for Ohio State.
I could say the same. I could say the same. Because that
we're all in agreement, right?
Yeah, Georgia is a
different level.
Yeah, Georgia on some. So I feel like, like he said with the spread, man. I hope they come out and they give out a good fight, because Georgia gonna come with it.
Yeah, they struggled to Michigan's physicality. If you struggle with Michigan at home, if you struggle to Michigan's physicality, oh boy, you are in for a long day.
Facts. And then we got the other one on the other side. That's the first game up on New Year's Day. Whoops.
Max Duggan is going to be a very interesting prospect in the NFL.
Max Duggan.
I always say Duggan. My bad.
Michigan's defense against Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston in TCU.
I gotta say, Quentin Johnston broke the TCU stigma at wide receiver.
Ooh, that should say TCU offense. Oh, I messed up.
What do you think, Nadarius? Do you think Quentin Johnston broke the stigma around TCU wide receivers?
Yes, I think he did that. Like he did that at a he ain't gonna. That was surprising.
I at first had my questions about him because we've seen like Josh Doxson and Jalen Reagor like do good stuff at TCU, and then they go to the pros and they're just god awful, not even in the league or barely in the league. Yeah. Where when you watch Quentin Johnston play, you're like, man, this brother different.
That part, he really is. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think Michigan can pull it out, but it's gonna have to be an amazing effort.
I was gonna say I hope the same thing you said for Bama goes for Michigan. Like, they can't come in thinking TCU is just gonna give it up, because they're gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, big time.
All right, one last college football question. Nadarius, put on your GM cap, right? If you're the Houston Texans, who you taking number one, Bryce Young or Will Anderson? Or Jalen Carter?
I'm probably gonna take Bryce Sims.
You mean Bryce Young?
Yeah.
Okay, because he said Bryce Sims. I'm a little confused there, but yeah. And who would you be your number one linebacker coming out?
Number one linebacker coming out in the draft? It'll probably be Ventrell Miller at Florida.
All right.
I'll say he can fly around. He can do a lot. So I feel like Ventrell Miller will be my first linebacker picking off the board if I had to choose.
All right, wide receiver 1 and C. Well, I think CB1 and DT1 we know, and DE1 we already know. Well, so who would you be your wide receiver 1?
So this is crazy. If he goes into the draft, like he's right now, it's questionable. This is if he goes into the draft, because I've recently seen like an article where he was undecided. But if he goes into the draft, he could possibly be, depending on his numbers and what he does, he could be number 1. I would say 14 from Florida State.
Oh yeah, Johnny. I think it's
Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
I saw Johnny Wilson be projected as like a 6th round pick. I don't know why they were doing that though.
Yeah,
He's just like a big guy who just makes people like.
But
head
he's made some pretty good he's made some pretty good plays. He's came through when the teams need him, and I feel like he's
I like that pick. Is just like you said with the numbers. I think if he shows out in the pro day, he'd be one of those guys you see rise up, and it won't be because of college production. It'll be because of how he measures. And if he does like under 4.4, yeah, he at his size, yeah, he will go probably like me. It'll be probably him or Johnson at this point, because I think Njigba won't go as wide receiver 1 because he barely played this year.
Yeah.
But then again, Stingley didn't, but he measured so well at the pro day. He went over Sauce Gardner, so
it's possible. Because I mean, look, if Njigba goes to not the pro day, if Njigba goes to Indy and throws out, hey, you never know.
And one more, actually, 3 more questions before we wrap this up. Hey, I gotta ask. So, where do you think Isaiah Land gonna land up? That's pun intended, because me and J Peeps talk about this. Generally, guys who go to the Senior Bowl, they get themselves drafted. We noticed that last year. Where do you think Land lands up?
Teams, or where would he end up in the draft?
I'd say
where would you prefer to see him on a team, and then also where do you think he would?
Personally, I think Zay Land will get picked up in the draft. I would say between 5th and 7th round. Between those rounds, and then teams. Let me put my GM hat back on. Zayland comes out after training and comes out at the Senior Bowl weighing 230. Still, with his physique and his explosiveness, I would take him at Buffalo, because I would want him to play behind a Von Miller, someone that can coach him up and mold him into a phenomenal player, because he has similar, his play style is similar to Von Miller's. If I was a GM, I would pick him up, and because I feel like he can mold into a Pro Bowl player later on down the line, playing behind Von Miller, or playing alongside Von Miller.
Well, I already asked. JP's already got you to say you wanted to go with Tampa with Levante, so I can't ask you that. But MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Rookie of the Year, who you got for all those 3 this year? Before we wrap it up,
MVP. I'm trying to think, because there's some people.
Hurts, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow.
I would say Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I'm going with Hurts. With Hurts.
Offensive Rookie of the Year: Olave, Garrett Wilson, or Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I'd give. Yeah, definitely.
And Defensive Rookie: Woolen, Aiden Hutchinson, or Sauce.
Sauce. That's Sauce.
All right. Now let me ask you this: if the Lions, by some miracle of God, make the playoffs and Aiden Hutchinson ends up with 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, and the Jets don't make the playoffs, even with Sauce thing,
I would still probably have to take Sauce because of the projection, what he has done in the league so far.
I don't think he gave up.
Don't sleep on Aiden. Aiden actually been doing good.
But Sauce didn't give up a touchdown this season.
Yeah, he's been putting some cups on some people.
All right, just making sure. Gotta get you to make sure you don't give me no easy answers.
Now I will say, with everything that you said for Detroit, I think Dan Campbell should get Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that. I will say that.
Wait a minute. Aiden Hutchinson's got 7 sacks and 2 picks. What the hell?
Sauce. Still taking
Yeah,
Sauce.
I can't. That can't compete. Not giving up. You know how hard. Listen,
I know
we're
it was
talking
very
about-
hard to not. Hey, this man kept Justin Jefferson under 50 yards. That is very hard.
We're talking about the NFL. We're talking about everybody's a pro. Everybody's a pro. Everybody has like this is the highest of the highest levels. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I feel like to not give up a touchdown, that's something not a lot of people can do.
That's facts. That's facts.
And in today's
See,
game,
I got him to give me the hard answers.
yeah, in today's game,
I got him
it's
all
definitely
the
different.
all the questions to make him see if he'll waver. He ain't waver. I like these answers. Good job. I like it, Nadarius. Thank you very much.
Of
You're
course.
welcome, man.
Folks, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed our holiday special as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Oh, yeah.
I need
One more before we go.
college football champion pick and Super Bowl pick.
Oh, man, you going to throw that at him? Golly. The college football one feels more like, well, you know what? Go ahead, Nadarius.
I got to come back to I got to come back to that. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, sorry. If you ain't got me an answer, that's fine.
I'll make
that was a great question though.
I'll give you an easy one. Favorite type of Christmas cookie? Sugar, snickerdoodle, gingerbread, chocolate chip, or any other one?
I'm different, so I would say
Favorite Christmas dessert?
No, let's do the cookie first.
so cookie. I would say white macadamia.
Oh, that's unique.
I've never had that. I'll be honest. Never had that. As
You never
long as
been
you
to
didn't
Sub-
say
you
oatmeal,
never-
we were good.
You've never been to
long-
Subway and had a white macadamia cookie?
No.
No.
Oh,
I've been to crumble cookie, insomnia cookie. I've never had that before.
Yeah, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. It's chocolate chip, but it's white chocolate and macadamia nuts.
Interesting.
You gotta try it.
And where'd you say they were at?
You can go to Subway, and I think Insomnia has it. I think Insomnia has it.
Interesting.
All right, now one more before we get out of here for real this time. You said favorite Christmas dessert, Ace?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite Christmas
I
dessert.
can't say Christmas food because that's too broad.
Christmas dessert?
Like, what do you always have on that table for Christmas dessert?
Probably a pie. My
There you
mom. So every Christmas, my mom finds it her duty to make like 12 pies. She makes
Your
12
mom
pies.
sound like my uncle, but with cakes.
Yeah, she makes 12 pies, and they like the pies go faster than anything.
Oh my goodness.
What kind of pies you make?
Sweet potato.
Yes.
But it's all from scratch. All from scratch.
Yes. That is the one for the win.
Yeah. Sweet
That's always the one for the
You
win.
just made JP's day.
Of course. Because what do you think? What do you think I'm about to make from scratch? Literally, like the day before Christmas.
Yeah, she makes it her duty to make 13 sweet potato pies, and Christmas the kids open their presents at 7, 8 in the morning. The pies are gone around 1 in the afternoon. They're gone. Family come pick them up. The house eats them. Like they're gone. You gotta hurry up and get you some.
That's insane. Gosh. Jeez.
Oof.
I thought I was doing my piece by eating up my 2 little pies. Oh my gosh. Well, Nadarius,
12 pies gone by 1. That's next level.
we thank you so much for joining us this evening. We wish you all the best as far as your preparation for the NFL draft. We can't say thank you enough for what you've done for this Florida A&M program. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on you and watching you going forward. Even if it be the XFL, the USFL, or Canadian football, we'll definitely keep an eye on. We'll be looking at you going on down the road and stuff. Definitely have to bring you back too. This was awesome.
I'm definitely appreciated that you guys brought me on this show. I couldn't thank you guys enough to put me on you guys' platform and talk about the things we talked about. Go ahead, you got it.
Oh,
I want to say thank you for giving me all the hard answers.
I try sometimes, not all the time.
all right, folks. As you know, that's gonna do it for us. We thank you so much. You guys make sure you have a happy and safe and blessed Christmas. And Darius, as well with you, have a happy, safe, and blessed Christmas. There's always
See y'all in 2023.
Yes. And we will be back with season 5 of the Running Gun podcast in January 2023. Not right away, but like a few weeks, because I got stuff I got to take care of. But yeah,
We got to get the semesters rolling back up again.
Yeah. So stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see you next year.
All right.